Shoot. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Monday night's Real Talk Weekly at Novak Properties. Today, I've got Harry Larcos beside me, and we are going to be talking about spring and what's next in the market. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a good Monday. I hope it's been a nice day for everyone. It was actually a sunny day today, same over the weekend.
Yeah, very busy day in real estate as well. A lot of outbound calls, appraisals, appointments. It's just been a day in real estate, really. Mr. Thomas Sims, we have quite the topic we're going to unpack this evening. We're going to be talking about the spring market coming up. It's around the corner. What do we expect from the buyers, from the market, numbers? We're going to unpack it all.
Let's get straight into it. So
let's do it.
If you want to look at just stock levels in comparison to last year, from the 4th of September last year, start of spring, we had 769 properties on the market in the Northern Beaches. Now, we haven't transitioned from August to September yet, but we're already sitting at early 800s.
At the moment, as of today, we have 837 properties listed for sale across the Northern Beaches. Stock levels have actually increased by about 30 properties from last Monday. So we are definitely starting to see that shift slowly transition as we head into the spring market.
There you go. And then just for comparison as well, if you're thinking as a buyer or as a potential vendor, about how many properties are going to come onto the market, if we take last year's stats as well, you'll see that there were 589 properties on the market from the 12th of August. And within a 3-week period to the 4th of September, there was an inflation of just under 200 properties that came onto market in that 3-week period. Now, are we going to see that this year? We're not sure. There were a lot of properties that withdrew from the market in the last 3 to 6 months. So maybe you'll see not brand new properties come to market, but a lot of recycled listings, along with a few brand new properties as well. But you just don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what we're here for.
And I feel as though buyer confidence is also increasing along with the stock levels. And as I mentioned, we're in that transitioning stage from moving into a neutral market at the moment, and we're moving slowly into a market that's more in favor of vendors at the moment, ever so slightly. But buyer confidence is definitely starting to creep up. We're seeing that in our everyday prospecting when we're on the phones with the buyers. There's a lot more activity, a lot more buyers willing to have a look at a lot of stock. And we're also seeing that evidently during our open inspections. We've noticed that our numbers through our opens have increased significantly over the last coming weeks. We're not only getting high numbers, but we're also getting high numbers more consistently, which shows that there's going to be a very natural growth in buyer activity increasing over the next couple of weeks. That's what the market is stating.
Yeah, and what that can tell you as a potential seller is that the spring market is obviously, it's well known as being one of the best times to put your property on the market.
Yep.
If you're thinking about this changed market, is it a good time to sell or is it a bad time to sell? It's not necessarily either. We've just had the rate news recently where interest rates held. So as a buyer, you're more confident now, like Harry mentioned, putting money.
I'm going to predict that all the buyers that have been sitting on the sidelines for the last couple months, that have just been waiting for property prices to plummet, property prices to nosedive, which is what's been stating. You turn on Channel 9 news every single day, and there's at least some announcement that property prices are going to go down 40%. To be truthfully honest, we have seen prices come down a bit since the start of the year. I would like to describe the market as very calm and subtle at the moment. But based on our interaction with buyers, that's going to change very quickly. Do I think prices are going to go through the roof and skyrocket and get block records? To be truthfully honest, that's highly unlikely. What I will say is that the market is going to be much more active, and we will start to see in transaction levels pick up, and a lot more stock quantity wise is going to be, it's going to increase. That's what my prediction is.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And as a buyer, I think it's very difficult. It's near impossible to pick the bottom of the market, which is what every buyer wants ideally. But from our opinion, now is the best time to buy. You will see a few more options come onto market on realestate.com and Domain over the next few weeks, but you're also going to see a lot of competition follow you. So where in the last few weeks of open homes, you may be looking at 2 or 3 other buyers with you during an inspection. You may start to see now that number shifts up to about 5 to 7, maybe more. And that puts a little bit of pressure on you. Pricing still is at that same level. That 5 to 10% drop across the northern beaches has steadied because stock levels dropped. At the end of the day, it's supply versus demand. So depending on how many properties come to market, you might actually have a lot more demand coming rather than supply. So just be wary of that as a buyer, but as a potential seller, a potential vendor, it is a good time to put your property on the market, and you can even just test the market. You don't need to sell if you don't get the price you're looking for. But this is the time now where the sun's out for a lot of our days. It is spring, and I
think this is an excellent window opportunity. If you are a prospective buyer, your finance pre-approved, ready to go, this is a very good golden opportunity for you to secure something right now where buyer activity hasn't fully picked up and taken off yet, where you can actually secure a property with very minimal and limited competition. Most of our transactions, these last few weeks have been, we've been dealing with maybe 2 or 3 buyers competing for, one property. But with, as we mentioned, with the spring market coming back up, that competition levels, we'll start to see more buyers compete with each other as the market heats back up. Now, what does that mean if you're a buyer? It means you'll have more people to compete with, and chances are you're going to have to stretch your budget if you do want to buy a property. As a vendor, that's probably a very, very good time, as Thomas mentioned, for you to list, because you will have that, extra competition, more demand for your property, which means, ultimately prices will come up.
That's it. So market predictions, let's go based on numbers. Stock levels are just above 800 right now. Where do you think, what number are they going to peak at?
I think during the spring market, I think we'll see stock levels come up anywhere between 950 to 1,000 properties on realestate.com listed for sale. I think 1,000 would probably be where the market ends up, is my prediction.
There you go.
What about you, Thomas?
I don't think it'll hit 1,000. I think a lot of properties are going to transact over the next few weeks and into spring. It's going to cause a little chain reaction of sales, and that's what's going to keep the stock levels under 1,000 properties across the northern beaches. Look, guys, that's enough from us. If you do have any questions, feel free to pop into our office on the corner of Delmar Parade and Pittwater Road anytime at all. Free coffee on us.
And if you'd like to know what the value of your property is, feel free to SMS us or call us. Our details will be down below. My mobile is 0411 851 244. Thomas?
Alrighty, guys, 0468 710 936. I hope you have a good night. Tune in next time.
See you later.
See ya.